Okay, ladies, we're going to talk about so we're on lesson 9, so Japanese expansion or Japanese imperialism. So we're going to identify the causes for Japanese imperialism. Just as a reminder, I know we're going to look at it again, but you should know this word. So it is a stronger taking over a weaker. Okay. All right, so annex is when one country forcibly controls another country's territory and adds it to their territory. So when you see the word annex, we should be thinking about the idea that it's going to add it. In this case with Japan, they're going to annex Korea. So they're going to make Korea part of Japan. Expansion, the act of increasing something in size or volume or quantity. We've talked about industrialization in the past, but it is the process of transforming the economy of a nation or region from a focus on agriculture to a reliance on manufacturing. When we see the word manufacturing, you want to be thinking about machines, okay, textiles, factories, okay? And then natural resources, materials that occur in nature and can be used for economic gain. Our biggest ones are still coal. We have oil as another big one that eventually is going to become more prominent, but at this time it is all about coal. You have a few pages of reading that you need to get done, so pause here to do that reading. Then when you get to the section that has the notes, come back, take these notes. So the Manchurian incident. So Japan wanted full control over the region of Manchuria, and Manchuria is a section of China. Okay, so on September 18th, they detonated dynamite close to a section of Japanese railways and blamed it on the Chinese. This is very similar to what Hitler did with the burning of the Reichstag. So what they did was they caused a crisis and then blamed it on the Chinese before moving forward. Okay, they used it as an excuse to invade. 6 months later, Manchuria became Manchukuo, a Japanese territory. So again, when we think of that word, they annexed it. Okay. The Chinese called on the League of Nations to condemn the act and stop the Japanese, but the League did not act. They were weak. And the Japanese basically just said, you know what? We don't want to deal with this anymore. We're out. And this shows, again, how weak the League of Nations was. And then Western countries, especially the United States, grew concerned over Japanese increased aggression. Eventually, what we're going to start to see is that the United States is going to use this to stop selling oil to Japan. So there will be some economic sanctions that are going to come out of this, and that will eventually be part of it. And then there's the Nanking Massacre. So it occurred from December 1937 to January of 1938, so roughly 2 months. It is also known as the Rape of Nanking. It is a period of mass killing and ravaging of Chinese citizens and surrendered soldiers of the Japanese Imperial Army. So any citizen or soldier that was living in Nanking at the time, sometimes when you see Nanking, just as an FYI, it is spelled with a J. But they saw that as very dishonorable, so they attacked and killed them. The number of Chinese killed in the massacre has been subject to much debate. Most estimates range from about 100,000 to more than 300,000, and those numbers are estimated because the Japanese obviously do not want to admit that this is something that they did. They also don't want to acknowledge, what happened. This is still a very sore point between Japan and China to this day. And there were mass executions and tens of thousands of rapes of women by the Japanese army. The army looted and burned the surrounding towns and the city, destroying more than a third of its buildings.